Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very first episode of Nightcap, Unc and Ocho. I am Unc, Shannon Sharpe. He is Chad, Ochocinco Johnson. And thank you for joining us. I'm very excited. Ocho, how you feeling about this?
Man, I feel good. I feel good. Listen, I never stay up this late. I never stay up this time of night. But for you, I'm willing to do anything.
Well, I sure appreciate that. Let's jump right into it.
Yes, sir.
Our first topic. Are Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers this good, or did the Steelers just have a bad day?
Listen, Brock Purdy and the 49ers are that good. They showed you that last year.
Yes.
They showed you that last year. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, coming in, taking Garoppolo's place.
He's very relevant now.
He's very relevant now. And the supporting cast offensively, you got Brother Bosa on the other side. His job is so easy. Brandon Ayuk has emerged as a true number one receiver with 2 touchdowns a day. Debo at some point is going to get going. They're going to get him acclimated into the offense and get him his touches, and he's going to do what he's always done. They are the real deal. They are the real deal.
I agree with you. All Brock Purdy did today was show you why they were so willing to move on from Trey Lance when they moved heaven and earth to get him.
Yeah.
So he crystallized it. If there was any doubt in anybody's mind, why would you give up so much to get a man and move out from after 3 years? Well, you saw Brock Purdy and the way he orchestrated the offense. You mentioned it. They got Debo. They got Brandon Ayuk. Kittles didn't get involved. But the biggest acquisition was made last year at the trade deadline when they got Christian McCaffrey. He can do it all. He can run between the tackles. He can get outside. You can put him in the slot. You can swing it to him, and he can get you a first down. As you saw today, he can hit his head on the goalpost also. But a signing that went unnoticed is that you mentioned Bosa on the outside. You got Armstead, but they signed Jerome Hargrove. They brought him in to shore up the middle. So now you can't go anywhere. You got 2 guys pushing on the inside. You got a guy that's coming off the edge. The best middle linebacker in football is Fred Warner. He's a heat-seeking missile. They're going to be to deal with. A lot of people question, well, why would you put them number 2 over the Eagles? I think they answered that question today.
They did. They most definitely did. And the funny thing about it is we talk about teams having an identity. Normally, a team has an identity. Either it's offense, either your identity is offense or your identity is defense. The 49ers are one of the few teams in the NFL where their identity is on both sides of the ball. There's quality on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
In all 3 phases, whether it's offense or whether it's defense. And how they were able to fit all that under the salary cap is beyond me.
Yes.
Beyond me. But if they're going to get it done, they're going to have to get it done right now. Because at some point, Brock Purdy is coming to the table, and there's no way they're going to be able to keep that team together the way it is right now.
Well, one thing I know about Kyle Shanahan, and I've known him for a very long time, and he has a lot of similarities to his father. There is no rebuilding. There's only retooling. They're going for it every year. And if you look at the roster that they've assembled, that roster is ready to compete for at least, as you mentioned, the next 2 years. Now, Brock Purdy is only going into his 2nd year. So they're probably not going to do anything and probably until that 3rd year.
Right.
So they basically got a 2-year window because Brock Purdy is going to go from making $2 million to somewhere around $40 to $50 million within the next 24 months.
I have another question, though. This is the fact. The fact of the matter still remains. Is Brock Purdy as good as he is, or is he only shining because his supporting cast is that great?
Well, that's sometimes as long as he understands who he is. I played with a guy named Trent Dilfer. Now, was Trent Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? No, but he didn't need to be.
Right.
And Brock Purdy doesn't need to be Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't need to be one of these franchise quarterbacks. He just needs to be look, I got great players. I got great horn players. I got great percussionists. Hey, bro, all I need you to do is this right here. Just stay on beat. And as long as he stays on beat, they'll be just fine. Okay. So what about the Steelers? What didn't you like about the Steelers today?
Listen, the Steelers were flat. They were flat in all 3 phases. Offensively, special teams, defense. Defense was flat. Obviously, when I think about the Steelers, I think of the Steelers of the 2000s. I think of the Steelers of the 2000s. Anytime you play the Steelers, you had to come in the stadium with 2 chin straps.
Yeah,
they're gonna knock the first one off of you. They're gonna knock the first one off of you.
Yes,
that's the way they played. Identity. I talk about identity every time, and that's something that the Steelers always had. Listen, what Tomlin's been able to do and being above 500, 17 years running? I'm not sure. I don't know the numbers correctly, but he's had a winning season almost every season he's been there.
He's never had a losing season.
Never had a losing season. But the fact of the matter still remains, they aren't the same Steelers of old. The game has evolved, and they don't have identity right now. Offensively, they got to get going. They got to get the Pickett and Pickens train. I was on it. I'm waiting to see it. Obviously, it didn't happen in week 1 because you did have to play against a phenomenal team like the 49ers to open your season up. Right. I think they'll rebound. I think they'll rebound next week. But as far as that game against the 49ers,
you're definitely gonna have to get better play out of the quarterback position, because I don't care. In today's game, Ocho, back in the day, you brought your running game, you played defense, you could minimize the quarterback. But now teams will force you to make your quarterback be a participant, and not a cheerleader. So you can't hide it. I can hide every other position on the field. I can slide the offensive line to protect an offensive lineman. I can rotate the coverage, protect a corner or a safety. You can't hide that guy because he touches the ball every single time. And I'm going to force him to have to make plays to beat me.
But it's really unfair. It's really unfair to judge the Steelers week 1 against a team like the 49ers. That is totally unfair. Totally unfair. Because it's going to take them time.
I got a better one. For number 2, who had the more impressive day, Jordan Love or Tua?
Ooh, Tua was beautiful today. Tua was beautiful. I can't remember the number. I know he threw for 466. I know
466, 3 touchdowns.
And 3 TDs. Tyreek is responsible for 2 of those, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. So over 200 yards.
So Tyreek, he said he wants to be on pace for 2,000 yards. He is on pace to get 2,000 plus and some more.
Yes.
But I think the fact that we didn't know what Jordan Love would be. We didn't know what we were going to get. Aaron Rodgers, he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. So you don't know what you get until it's out there and the bullets are flying for real. And you get a small sample size of what you would get. If what we saw today from Jordan Love is the coming of what he's going to be, well, Packers fans are for another beautiful decade of having a great quarterback at the helm.
I agree with you. I'm going to say Jordan Love for the very reason that you said, because he's following Aaron Rodgers, a 4-time league MVP, a Super Bowl winner, a Super Bowl MVP, arguably the greatest thrower of the football that I've seen. He and Dan Marino, we'll let them get in the room and discuss that, who's the better thrower of the football. Right. But if there's a conversation going on, he's in that conversation, Aaron Rodgers. And the pressure, the expectations, because nothing kills dreams and makes you come back to reality more so than expectations. Oh, yeah. There's an expectation that this kid is the real deal. Remember, they traded up to get him. They ticked off Aaron Rodgers because they traded up to get
him off and had to come back and pay him and make him happy.
And had to make him happy. And he never forgave them for that. So you're on the road. He started in Kansas City, but now he knows the ship is his. They've removed everything around him. The ship is yours. You're playing your division rival. It's the oldest rivalry in the NFL. And he says, you know what? The faith was well put. I know it's one game, and I'm like you, Ocho. I don't like putting a whole lot of stock in one game. But if you look at the way he threw the football, it reminded you a little of Aaron Rodgers. His release point, the way he jumped and threw the ball, and Aaron Jones scored a touchdown on it. He threw a couple of balls to Dobbs. I was like, this kid looked like he has the goods.
Oh yeah. Listen, I had the opportunity of going to the joint practice between the Packers and the Bengals earlier in the preseason, and I was able to watch him play. Obviously, watching from TV, it doesn't do you no justice. You listen to the media talk about players, you understand that he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a long time. You hear people talk about him being polished, and you don't really have an understanding on why they went up to grab him early. But then when I get to see him in person, against the Bengals, even though it's a joint practice, still you could just see it. You could, his aura, his energy, and watching him throw the ball, I'm like, okay. And today was that was a small sample size for me. But then seeing it on display, live and in color, when it's time to go and you got to show out, man, he showed up and he showed out.
Ocho, you know what they used to say? You don't want to be the man that follows the man. You want to be the man that followed the man that followed the man. So like Aaron Rodgers, he followed Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And I think he says, okay, Brett was great. But
that was a tall task now.
That was a tall task. So you got, 15, 16 years of that. Yeah. Okay, here comes Aaron Rodgers. You have, so basically you've had almost 35 years of great play at quarterback. You've got 7 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl appearances. That's what Jordan Love is following. Yeah. Do you understand? No quarterback in the history of the game has had to follow what this young man is following. 7 MVPs, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl wins. And you're talking about 2, you can make a case that Favre and Rodgers, I believe Rodgers is no question. In my book, Rodgers is a top 5 quarterback. Brett made the all-century team, so he's a top 5 quarterback, top 10 quarterback at the bare minimum. Right. And that's what Jordan Love is following. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to go out and throw 3 touchdowns every game, and he's going to be as clean down the road as he was today. But I think most people like what they saw today.
Yeah. Listen, when you go buy a car, right? When you go to the car lot,
yes,
right, and you test drive a car,
yes,
that's a small sample size of what you're gonna get when you spend your money.
Right.
What I saw from Jordan Love today was enough of a small sample size of what's to come throughout the season. We know it's gonna be ups and downs. Right. That's a part of the game. We know it's gonna be ups and downs, but
how soon are those ups and downs coming? Because when I buy a car, I don't need no ups and downs in the first 6 months of the first year. I need to go out there and stick the key in the ignition. Well, there's no more stick the key in the ignition. It's push the button listen, now.
By the time you get to week 6, now that oil light gonna come on now. You're gonna have to get your oil change now.
I sure hope the oil light don't come on that quick for Jordan Love. But I think he was impressive. I think for me, and I understand 2 or 3 for 466 yards. Right. He had 3 touchdowns. They won the shootout with the Chargers. Right. But I was more impressed with Jordan Love, given the level of expectations of what was placed on his shoulders.
I think the funny part about it is understanding the footsteps that he has to follow behind in Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I've seen Tua throw for 400 to Tyreek already. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
he did last week 2, week 3 last year against Baltimore?
I seen him do that before. So seeing Jordan Love live up to the expectations. Oh, so this is why y'all jumped up like this. Oh, so this is why Aaron Rodgers was mad. Yeah. Now I get it. I have a better understanding.
Now you see why those quarterbacks, when they take those quarterbacks, they do everything they possibly can to keep them on the bench. They take all the reps, even the kneel down, even in victory formation. Tom Brady was taking kneel downs. Peyton Manning's taking kneel downs. Drew Brees is taking kneel downs.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back not too far. Foxborough. Tom Brady had somebody over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Porn star Jimmy. You know what? I don't think it doesn't sit well with him being the person behind me. Hey, somebody got to get him up out of here.
Right. Yeah. If I know that they want this kid to play.
Oh yeah.
And they're looking for every reason. I have an off game. They're like, well, maybe he doesn't have it. They're looking for a reason to move on because I've already got your heir apparent. I've got your replacement already in the building. I don't have to look.
Always.
We're going to go to something near and dear to your heart. A couple of days ago, Jamar Chase says, I really don't pay attention to the hype around them because Cleveland is Cleveland. It feels like a regular game to me. It's just them hooping and hollering about the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, we call them the Elves. But yeah, the Elves put something on you today. The Elves put something on you today, Ocho. The Elves.
Listen, we didn't play good football. We as a whole, and I'm saying we because I'm a part of the team. So anything that happens to them, it happens to me as well. I watched the game in its entirety. I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss a beat. I didn't blink. But what I'm going to do, offensively, we didn't play well. Defensively, we didn't play well. Special teams, we didn't play well.
Right.
We didn't do diddly squat today. I'm going to stand on that. The Elves comment. Jamar said what he said.
But you got to stand on it.
And he did.
You got to back that up, though, Ocho. You got to back that up, now. You know when you talk crazy, when you used to send the Pepto-Bismol and you send the Band-Aids because say, I don't know why I sent you Band-Aids because I can't do anything but your feelings. You got to get those straight. You got to get those straight before you come to the game.
Right. But listen, he didn't have the game he wanted to. Nobody did. And what I like about Jamar, this is what I love about him. Not only did he say the elves comment, he came back again and hit him with the elves comment again and say he was upset that we lost to the elves. Some elves.
Man.
So he stood on it.
He did.
He stood on it.
He did.
I'm proud of him. And this is one thing about the Bengals. For some reason, it happens all the time. We start slow. We start slow offensively, and then at some point we hit a groove and we on all cylinders.
Ocho, y'all spend all this money.
Yes, sir.
Y'all can't do a better job of protecting that man than what y'all. I mean, Orlando Brown was trending. Our offensive line shouldn't be trending unless he's some sauce.
Listen to me, and people that are going to see this, let's have a better understanding when you play a divisional game.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing an opponent that you're very familiar with.
Yeah.
They know your offense. They know your tendencies. You know, you can only do so much dressing up. You know, your offensive scheme and game plan doesn't change much. The only thing that changes is really the formations, just to fool them based on what you're doing.
Right.
You know, it's only so much you could do. So they're familiar with you. Browns, Bengals, it's a rivalry that's been going on for who knows God how long. You know, I don't know the numbers of how long it's been going on, but it will always be close. It's sometimes it's going to be a shootout. Today just wasn't our day, and that's okay. Congratulations to the Browns. But I know when it comes playoff time, I know who won't be in the running.
Ocho.
I know who running north. Let's talk about that. I know who running north. We hooping and hollering about week one. Week one ain't never won nothing.
Ocho, I give you $18 million a year. I don't want you to tell me about that DB. We in the same division, and he know my tendencies. I pay you $18 million to go get open. And to beat, I don't care if he's in your division. I don't care if he's your neighbor. I don't care if y'all grew up together and y'all homeboys.
Right.
What they got to do with him blocking Myles Garrett?
Now we talk about Myles Garrett. Now we ain't just talk about we ain't talk about no dude we just got off the corner that's playing DN. We talk about Myles Garrett. One of the best, if one of the best, if not the best, right behind them, right behind Bosa and the Watts.
Hello. So what we just, so you mean to tell me we just gave up 30? How much they gave him? They gave him $40 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed,
right?
And now I got and they chipped the man on every play.
But listen, we tried to chip the man. We tried to do everything possible to give our tackles help to be able to nullify the rush of Myles Garrett, but it's difficult. It's an testament to how great and good he is.
You know what Mike Brown saying? Y'all don't need no help to pick these checks up. I ain't say y'all ain't brought one extra person upstairs to pick up these checks. Y'all ain't have no other name on that direct deposit slip. But now all of a sudden y'all want help. So who's helping y'all cash them checks?
Don't do my Bengals like that. You played on offenses.
Yes.
There was always a wink league on the offensive line where you got to bring your back, you got to have your back chipping, you got to bring the receiver in a little tighter before you release off the line, or you gotta chip the D in just a little bit before you go off. Don't do that. Don't do my Bengals like that.
I was very fortunate. Two of my left tackles are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. One of them was on the 100th anniversary team, Jonathan Ogden and Gary Zimmerman. So it wasn't a whole lot of chipping. It wasn't a whole lot of chipping going on.
You're right.
We slide the line the other way because you say if you're saying you make normally the left tackle makes the most money on the offensive line.
Always the blind side of the quarterback unless he left-handed.
We slide the line the other way. You one-on-one, and he got to block Bruce. He got to deal with Reggie White. He got to deal with He got to deal with DT. He got to deal with LT. That's what he got on his plate. Now, y'all, the names that I just named, y'all know who they are.
Yeah.
Y'all know who they are.
Yeah.
So I don't know what y'all got going on, Ocho, but y'all need to get that fixed.
It's week one. We don't need to hit the panic button. We don't need to. It's week one. For one, half of them, 90% of them ain't even played in the preseason. So this was a good game for us to get acclimated to game tempo, game speed, build that chemistry, and we're gonna be right. Watch what happened week 2, though.
You know what, Ocho?
Watch what happened week 2. Who they? Don't get me.
I think that's why we see a lot of this soft tissue, because a lot of times you're asking a guy to go, okay, we just going to go 30, 40 miles an hour.
Right,
and then all of a sudden come Sunday, we want you to go 100 to 150. And you see a lot of hamstrings. You see a lot of quads. You see a lot of calf injuries because you're asking the body to do something that I needed to play. I wanted to put my body under the stress of being in the preseason. And then once the regular season came, I'm ready to go. I felt very comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta put your body through the ringer. You gotta put your body through the ringer. You gotta shock the body so the body gets used to playing at a high rate of speed, high tempo, getting hit. Listen, I enjoy 2-a-days. I know the CBA wanted to scale back on things to protect the players and protect the body.
No, the players wanted that.
Well, okay.
The players bargained for petty privileges.
Right.
Instead of getting, let me ask you a question. Would you rather go 2-a-days, or would you rather have 3/4 or fully guaranteed contracts? You see what they bargained for? They bargained, oh, we ain't got to practice but once a day in training camp. The other time meeting, but you ain't got no guaranteed contracts.
Right.
Baseball, guaranteed. Basketball, guaranteed. Soccer, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
You play the most physical, grueling sport, and you don't have lifetime benefits. Basketball players, lifetime. Baseball players, lifetime. Once you get vested. You see how they bargain for petty? We'll talk about it another day in time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Last topic, Dak. And the Cowboys roll all over the Giants, 40-0.
For one, I'm glad the Cowboys won. I'm glad the Cowboys won. I'm glad the Cowboys won because I want everybody to get off that back. The defense. The defense.
They were sensational. Yeah. They were great tonight.
Gave them boys a 14-point lead.
Yes.
Gave him a 14-point lead. Offensively, all Dak had to do was just facilitate, control the game, and number one, no turnovers.
No turn it over. Don't
turn the ball over. Give him nothing to say. Give him nothing to say.
If I'm the Giants fan, y'all mean to tell me y'all gave $40+ million to Daniel Jones for that? That's what y'all gave? That's what y'all paid for?
Wait a minute. You know who they were supposed to pay? You were supposed to pay your running back. You're supposed to pay your running back. Your running back is the one that deserves the $40 million because the running back is the offense. That is your offense. If you leave the offense in Daniel Jones' hands, you get what you got tonight.
Right. Because
what you got tonight.
Because once he fell back, I agree with you. Because once you fell behind, you took Saquon out of the game. So now Saquon is not a threat. So now you get Parsons, you get Armstrong, and you get D-Law. You get those guys pinning their ears back because there's no threat of the run. As long as there's threat of the run, I just need you to hesitate for a second. I had an old coach just tell me, say, son, he who hesitates beat. All I need you to do is hesitate for a second. Right. But when Parsons and Ziggy Dua is jumping off the rock like they're jumping off the rock with no hesitation because there's no threat of the run. You down 14-0, you down 26-0. You running what? We about to run you out your building. That's the only thing about to get run.
Did you see Mekhi coming off the edge?
Yes, I saw Micah.
Man, Micah. I'm talking about Mekhi. I'm talking about, man, I ain't never seen nobody shoot off the edge like that, man.
But Ocho, you know you can't shoot up if there's a threat of the run because all you're doing is making a bigger gap for the back to get through. But he knows you're down 19-0, you're down 26-0. You're not running no football.
Yeah, ain't nothing to worry about.
So, and even if you do run it, so what? All you're gonna do is run out of time trying to catch up.
So you pay your quarterback what, $40 million? How much they paid him?
They paid him $40. He's making $40 million.
Okay, he's making $40 million. So if you got a $40 million quarterback, you didn't want to pay your running back, so you're in a situation where you're down 20 and you're losing, and you want to be able to put the ball in your $40 million quarterback's hands.
That's not what he is.
And have him do something. That's not what he what?
That's not what he is, though.
Oh, okay. So who is the one that runs the offense and makes that offense go with the Giants?
Their offense is at their best when they can run the foot. Saquon.
You know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
So why didn't get a man his money, understanding the importance and how important he is for that offense?
Let me ask you a question. What's the average length of an NFL player is, let's just say for the sake of argument, for what we're discussing right now, is 3 years.
It is 2 to 3.
Okay, 3 years. And let's just say a really good player, you're going to play somewhere for a running back.
Right.
You say you got his peak, he could be somewhere around 3 to 6 years.
Whoa.
Well, before they did the contract with Saquon, he already at 4. So if you telling me I've already paid him. So you mean to tell me you want me to give him another 5-year deal when he only got 2 more years of peak?
Says who? I don't like those numbers. I don't like those numbers. I don't like that. I don't like those numbers.
Everything is a numbers game.
A player of Saquon's caliber can play.
He plays the running back position.
Right. And he's a little different than other running backs. I think he can play based on running style, body type, physique. He can play top level football for about 8 or 9 or 10 years.
But here's the thing. It's like, when that give these baseball players these 10-year contracts.
Yeah.
Okay, the first 5 years, you're like, ooh, boy, you see them numbers? But then
deal.
the last 4 years, they're hitting 230, making $43 million. And now all of a sudden, so are you going to tell me at the end of the contract? Because here's the thing now, I already done paid you. I got to pay you based on what I believe you can do, Ocho. What they pay you? You work your job. They said, man, Ocho showed up every day for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to pay you because they believe you're going to show up for another 10 years. They already done paid you for the 10 years that you showed up. Because now they're going to say, man, the running back position, he done got 300 carries on his body, on his legs. Oh. I just don't know. I'm just telling you how they think.
We can't do that. And that's what's wrong with the owners now, because you thinking like that, you're trying to be greedy, and you get exposed offensively like this because you have nothing. You have nowhere for Daniel Jones to go with the ball. When things aren't going well, you know who I can rely on? Let's get the ball to Saquon. Let's reset mentally. Let's reset offensively. We can give it to him until we can facilitate and get the running game going. We can throw something short. We can throw something, intermediate. Work your play action. If you don't have no running game, the whole offense is dead.
Because you see with no threat of running game, now those offensive linemen can't get out of their stance because the D linemen are running around them.
Man, listen, they pinning them ears back, and it's they hauling tail.
I mean, when we jumped on here last I saw, they had I think 6 sacks. I don't know what they ended up with. Maybe they started running the ball. If I'm Saquon probably was out of the game and they probably started running it. But when you fall behind like that, it's hard. It's I've been in situations where we fall behind like that, and they know we're not going to run the ball because we haven't run it all night, and it's just a bad feeling.
And there's another team that's going to suffer. I hate to go off topic. I know we're not talking about this tonight, but the Indianapolis Colts. That's another team that's going to suffer for not wanting to pay an elite running back at the position.
He hurt.
Help that.
Let me ask you a question.
Don't do that. You know that. Sometimes you got to play the game. Sometimes you got to play the game. He's not hurt.
Well, I'm just saying. Let me ask you a question. You think? You take a medical leave.
Yeah.
How many jobs gonna give you a raise during a medical leave?
Well, depending on how good you are, and what you do. Depending on how good you are, and with me having a great understanding of what I'm getting.
That's bad business.
That's on a medical leave.
You're a businessman. Somebody, one of your workers, your worker comes to you and he says, "Ocho, I want a raise, but before you give me that raise, I'm gonna go on this medical leave for about 3-4 weeks."
No. See, I'm not. Hold on. I'm not even gonna play the game with him. No, I'm not even gonna play the game with him. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not. Whether I'm gonna pay you, or not, is based on how good you are. How good he is right there. You can't take that from him. All you got to do is turn the film on. You understand how good Jonathan Taylor is for that Colts offense. Not only do you have a rookie quarterback, he has no outlet. You know, I forgot what my grandma used to say. If he needed somewhere to go, if he had a blindfold on, if he was wearing a blindfold and he snapped the ball and needed somewhere to go with the ball, Jonathan Taylor is the one person that he can count on all 3 downs. The one person you can count on all 3 downs.
He is a 3-down back. But I also think what hurt some of the running backs is that when they paid some of the other running backs that came before them, they immediately, their production dropped or they got injured. You remember when Jonathan Taylor, he came out the 1,800-yard season, he got hurt last year.
This is football.
So what you want me to do? You want me to pay you?
But you paying your quarterbacks $40 and $50 million, and we talk about using injury as an excuse not to pay a running back?
That's what they do because he play a more dangerous position.
You know what?
But see, if you'd got the guaranteed contract, but you ain't got to practice but once a day in training camp, Ocho. That's all you got to practice once a day. You straight.
That's a good comeback.
And
that's a good comeback.
But if you think about it, Ocho, it seems, and I could be wrong because I don't have any data, but it damn sure seems like guys get hurt more now and they practice less than they did when we played and we practiced more. Because I had Coach Reeves was my coach, and he was a Coach Landry knockoff, and we got it.
Oh, yeah.
We got it in.
I think one of the reasons that more people are having soft tissue injuries, or they're breaking stuff, or the body's falling apart, and they're much younger, and you shouldn't be getting hurt when you're this young, is the fact that, one, you don't practice enough. You don't the body has to go through a ringer.
Yes.
The body has to build a callus and be run not into the ground, but just run at high speeds.
Yes.
Until it's time to go. Because when it's time to go, you ready to go and you ain't pulling nothing.
Yes.
That also, number 2, nutrition. They ain't eating right. They not eating right. They putting all this green stuff in their body. They eating all this healthy stuff.
Man, go ahead. There you go with your foolishness, man.
Listen, that's not helping the body. That's not helping you be able to go out there and perform at a high level.
Shannon Sharpe does not approve this message that Ocho is.
I'm just telling you right now. I'm just telling you what it is.
But I tell you what I do think it is. I don't think these guys give their body enough time to recover. Because as soon as the season over, what
they're not doing nothing. What they recovering from?
But
what are they recovering from?
As soon as the season over with, the guys are right back doing speed workouts, right back doing. Oh yeah, I'm back in the lab, bro. Give your body a chance to recover. I don't care if an NFL season, even though Ocho, the rules are a lot different than when I came in the league, and as I was trying to transition, and it's a little different than when you left the league.
Right.
But you still got to give your body a chance to recover because you still went out there and did what you did over the course of 5-6 months.
Right. I don't know. I think I gradually started.
Yes.
Super Bowl ended February. I think I gradually started the first week of March.
Yes.
And gradually built my way into the off-season program. So I went into the off-season program in some type of shape, and then I went on from there and built my way into getting in playing shape or whatever it is I need to do.
Right. Yeah. Well, I did my own thing. That's how I was. I took the whole month of February off. I would gradually build each week in March. By the time May rolled around, I was probably 75% of where I needed to be, knowing that I had June and July because training camp was going to start somewhere around the end of July.
Right.
Hey, I was ready to go.
I really want to talk to some of these individuals that continue to get hurt.
Okay. What would you tell them?
Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
Y'all come on over here to me. Cooper Kupp, come on over here to me. Let me talk to you. Let me tell you what I did, because I played 13 years. No injuries. Not one.
Sometimes they might have imbalances.
They ain't imbalance. They ain't eating right. That's one imbalance. They're not eating right, and they're not.
Fast food is not it.
They're not putting their body through the ringer enough. I took every rep. Scout team. First team. I ran down on special teams. I'm doing all this.
Ocho, you do realize that when you play a professional sport, especially the sport of football, and you don't get injured, you know there's a lot of luck in there. There's a lot of luck in what Brett Favre did.
Don't do that.
There's a lot of luck. It is.
It's not luck. There's no luck. There's no luck. Listen, it's called preparation.
Yeah, you can prepare.
It's called preparation. You know, in the summer when I was a little kid, right? Listen to me. Where you grew up at? Where you grew up?
I grew up in South Georgia.
You grew up in South Georgia. I grew up in Liberty City. In the summer, I couldn't go in the house.
No, of course not.
I couldn't go in the house. Grandma, I'm trying to come in and get something to drink. Nah, go to the water hose on the side of the house and drink from the water hose.
Yes, absolutely. That's the way it was. Yes.
Did you get hurt when you were little?
If you got hurt, what were you going to do?
Did you get hurt when you were little is what I'm asking you. Did you get hurt?
I'm sure I got hurt, but you wasn't going to the doctor to do what?
No, you didn't.
Who's going to take you to the doctor, Ocho?
No, hey, y'all had the Candy Lady house where you from? Did you have the Candy Lady house in South Georgia? Did
I'm
y'all
from the
have frozen
country.
cups? Did you eat frozen cups?
No, we didn't. I'm from the country. I had route 4 box 385. Anybody that know about this in the South, when you have a route number, you in the country.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just trying to give you a better understanding on why
No,
they play
fast food is not the answer, people.
Oh,
fast food is good in moderation, but what he's trying to get you to do as a high-powered athlete.
Let me ask you a question. Listen, the high-power athletes keep getting injured. Year in and year out, the numbers continue to increase.
Tom Brady didn't get injured.
What?
Tom Brady didn't get injured.
He didn't? He didn't get hurt?
He got hurt one time in 23 seasons.
Okay, so why do we
why
do we continue to use Tom Brady?
How many injuries you think you would have had if you'd have played 23 seasons?
None.
Oh, you would.
None.
Ocho, stop it.
I haven't got hurt yet. I'm 55. I ain't been hurt yet, and I'm still active. I'm still playing.
You ain't football active. Go out there and catch that 3 slip. I bet you won't go out there and catch that 3 slip.
When I caught him when I was playing, I made a business decision. I'm not gonna get hurt.
This how your helmet be looking. The ear hole be right there.
Listen, if it came down to it, if push came to shove, I can go out there right now. I can put up 1,400 right now.
1,400 what?
1,400 yards.
In the arena. You must be talking about in that AB league. That league the AB used to be on.
No. Have you not seen the rules? You can't touch, you can't hit nobody, you can't do nothing. They basically playing with flags out there. You ain't telling me I'm not getting 1,400 right now.
Ocho, you done been away from the game. You done forgot how to fall, bro.
Listen, I ain't forgot how to fall. I ain't forgot.
Ocho.
I did jujitsu just like Tua. I know how to fall.
Okay, jujitsu. But you know, even when you leave the game, you take that time off from the time the season ends until it starts.
Yeah.
Your spidey senses have to start tingling.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to know where I ran this route, it was this coverage. That hit's gonna come from this place.
Yeah.
Or I ran this route and so you got to feel that all over again. So now you'd have been away from the game for a decade.
Listen, I've been away from the game for a decade, but I still remember coverages. I play Madden. Oh, so Madden in real life is really the same thing. It's the same.
No, it's not really the same thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you it is. You got to know the game. I know the game. Listen to me.
No.
Listen, Shannon, one thing about it, I lie for you before I lie to you. I can go get 1,400 right now.
Well, you lying on me right now. So with this, you mentioned earlier, Tyreek said he wants to be the first guy to eclipse 2,000 yards.
And he's going to do that.
He has 11 for 215. I thought he was on his way until Tua got hurt. Remember, Tua got hurt last year.
Yeah.
And he got dinged towards the end of the season with a foot injury.
Yeah.
Do you believe Tua can go over 2,000? Do you believe Tyreek can go over 2,000 this year?
Absolutely. He can go over 2,000. For one, what they do offensively, they put him in positions and create mismatches.
Yeah.
With different formations. And they have special plays designed for him just to get him the ball. The funny thing about each play, wherever they are on the field, Tyreek Hill is a home run hitter.
He's a threat.
He's a threat from anywhere on the field. And you make one mistake, you take one wrong angle, or you miss a tackle, he's gone. Yeah. He's gone to the house. One of the few players in the NFL that can do that, where he is a threat from anywhere on the field. Yeah. Everybody ain't like that. So saying I want to get or reach 2,000 yards. It's possible, especially after today. It's week 1. How you got 215 yards already?
Yeah.
This ain't no video game. This is real life.
I think the thing what makes him so dangerous, because like you said, he's one of there's only a handful of guys that can take a 5-yard route and turn it into an 85-yard spectacular. There are very few guys. And because you look, he has track speed, but he's built like a football player. I played with a lot of guys that James Jett was on the gold medal winning team at the Olympics in 92. Sam Grady was the silver medalist in the 100 meters. He won the gold medal at 84 on the relay team. Right. But they were frail. They were thinly, wiry built. If you've ever been up close to Tyreek, he's put together.
Yeah.
He's a big old ball of muscle. And you can tell that he's explosive.
Very.
And he's turned himself into a very good route runner, because before, when he first got into the league, he was a return guy and a gadget guy.
Right.
But he said, you know what? He worked on his game. He can run the route tree. And a guy with that kind of speed that can run the route tree, you got hell on your hands, Ocho.
You don't want nothing, you don't want nothing to do with that. Listen, the funny thing about it is most of the time, you get very few receivers at that size that can play all the way out wide on the outside. Not only that, you can put him in the backfield.
Yes.
You can put him in the slot.
Yeah.
He can play the 3. He can play the 2. He can be anywhere on the field. So when I think about with the creativity that they have and what they could do with him offensively, him reaching 2,000 is nothing. Right. It's nothing. And especially when you get him acclimated into the offense and integrated into the offense, and you winning and you get results like today.
Yeah. Man, the thing is, he's one of those guys, and that's what happened with the guys like himself. If you get him going early, if you get him going, or you don't have to get him going, but throw him a few balls. Let him let him feel the ball touch his hands. Then you got it for the rest of the game.
The rest of the game.
And Mike does a great job. He'll throw him a smoke. He'll throw him a speed out. He'll do something to let him feel the ball. And today, I don't know what the Chargers were thinking. I don't know why you would ever single him up. They can talk about whatever they want to. He's the most dangerous man in football, regardless of position. I'm talking about, if you talk about Aaron Donald, I'm talking about, you talk about TJ Watt, if you talk about Myles Garrett, if you talk about Trent Williams, he is the most feared man in football.
This is one of the things a lot of people get on me all the time. They always talk about, they ask me my top 5 receivers in the league. And one of the things that I rarely do is I rarely name Tyreek Hill. I rarely name Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill is in a class of his own. He's in a category of his own until I can think of a category where it's deserving to put him in. He stands alone in his own right because of how special he is to the game in the position of playing wide receiver. Right. And it's no disrespect to him. And just, dude, you different. Yeah. You different. There are no words to describe you when we're talking about other receivers because you're in a class all by yourself.
Well, he definitely needs to be 99. I don't know what y'all criteria is.
He's a 98 right now. He's a
98
right now.
To be 90. He needs to be 100. Listen, you go ahead and put him at 100. Because I know that's on the rating.
He's a 98. I'm the Madden ratings adjuster. And what I can do and what I probably will do tomorrow internally, I'll go in myself and I will make him a 99 myself. And if I get fired, I'm okay, and I'm going to stand on that based off what he was able to do today.
I mean, consider what he did last year. I mean, first of all, he's had like 5 years in a row where he's been 1,500 yards.
Crazy numbers.
Last year he was 8. Yeah, last year he was 1,700, and he was injured like the last 3 games. So 2,000 is definitely not out of the realm of possibility or probability. But I just love watching him play because I love the enthusiasm and the passion in which he plays with.
He's one of the few. One of the few players. It's about 4 of them. But you remember Peter Warrick, right? When Peter Warrick was at Florida State.
Yeah.
When I used to watch Peter Warrick play, him, Reggie Bush, and Tyreek Hill, when they get the ball, you hold your breath because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
It's a different type of excitement. Michael Vick dropping back and scrambling.
Right.
You hold your breath because you don't know what's going to happen. It's a certain type of excitement that very few people bring to the game. And I'm dating back from when football started. Very few. It's a handful. Like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? That's how special Tyreek Hill is.
Yeah, he was like Barry. I mean, watching Barry on TV doesn't do Barry Sanders justice. You had to see him up close. To see, I've never seen a man jump stop with both feet. Normally, they plant, but he jump stop with both feet and would accelerate again. Ocho, congratulations. I'm excited.
Yes.
Unc and Ocho, this was our very first episode. We're only going to get bigger. We're only going to get better. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on Thursday night. We won't be here tomorrow night, but we will be back Thursday night for Nightcap with Unc and Ocho.
I love y'all. If you need me, you know how to reach me. 786-235-5412.
That is his real number.
They don't know that.